Tonight, the start of a major new ABC 15 investigation. It's an investigation about protests. They swept the nation and Phoenix, but for two very different reasons. One side against police violence, the other against democracy. And this investigation is about the difference. It exposes the two different systems of justice.
If it had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they would have been treated very, very differently.
That's especially true in Phoenix.
Biden is a rapist.
Our police and prosecutors target one side, but tolerate the other. This investigation exposes how Phoenix police and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office target those who protest against them and use the badge in the courts to punish critics.
Stop politically prosecuting. Stop killing us.
We're calling this investigation politically charged, and that's for two reasons. One, because this issue, this moment in America, is politically charged. But more directly, it's because you're about to see people facing political charges in modern-day political prosecutions brought by officials trying to make political prisoners. And we don't make these claims lightly. We spent months digging into protest arrests. We obtained never-before-seen video, internal records, secret testimony, and confidential information. And in our first report, we're about to show you a stunning case. A group of people protesting police violence, now charged as a criminal street gang. A street protest, a group huddled, marching together. Ask Phoenix police and county prosecutors. This is a gang.
They try every tactic they can to inflict as much pain as they can on us.
A gang, they say, with members who endanger us all.
Threat to our community.
Listen to police and prosecutors, and it all sounds really bad.
The threat to regular, normal members of the community.
Until you see their case, see the people.
Are you a gang member?
No. I mean, it's completely insane.
I thought it was a joke.
But it isn't a joke. It's real. It's police and prosecutors who critics say are out of touch, out of control, without accountability. Their response, arrests, prosecutions, all politically charged. It all began on October 17th in a downtown Phoenix park. It's where 17 people, including Amy Caper, met for a protest and march against police violence.
Well, I've been a big Black Lives Matter supporter for the last couple of years. My partner and I saw the flyer on Instagram and decided to go. It was really close to his apartment, so that was that.
Phoenix police have gathered intelligence on protesters all year and monitored social media for demonstrations, so officers were already at the park, waiting.
It was our first protest with this group, so we really didn't expect that at all.
This is your first one with the group.
This particular group, yes.
And yet you're now being accused of being in a gang with them.
Correct.
Alleged gang member Amy is 28. She works IT in healthcare and is a master's student.
Did you know you were in a gang?
I didn't, no.
Okay.
Again, it was the first time I had met any of these people.
Do you have like a gang tattoo or insignia?
No, I do not.
So what gives? Well, first, here's what happened. ABC 15 obtained multiple videos from that night. Officer body cameras, police surveillance footage, witness recordings. After leaving the park, the 17 protesters began marching down Washington Avenue.
How many police?
I mean, I would say at least 40.
The officers and their vehicles in tow. To slow and annoy the police, some protesters tipped cones, toppled temporary street signs, dragged barriers. In this video, one of them released a toy smoke maker, the kind used in gender reveal parties. You can see officers drive and walk around it. This video is from an alt-right, quote, patriots group, marching next to officers, cheering police on.
This is dope. We're walking right alongside PD.
The women also taunting as the group chants.
Bureau of Land Management.
The whole thing lasts roughly a half an hour, and it ends here at First Avenue and Van Buren. The group slows, huddles, forms a dome with their umbrellas. Officers move in, arrest the entire group. They're later indicted on multiple charges: rioting, aggravated assault, obstructing a thoroughfare, and the gang charges.
Didn't even have a speeding ticket until 2 months ago, so I think I am trying to just, I haven't come to terms with.
So you've even before this, before these run-ins with Phoenix police, you've never even had a speeding ticket?
Nope.
Alleged gang member Suvarna Ratnam was a Harvard student. She's a regular with others in the group. They've protested together before, multiple times, with police watching and tracking them. Suvarna also arrested during an August protest.
I've been falsely detained and falsely targeted for arrest and charged with fabricated things more than once.
And we'll dig deeper into her case in our next report.
She's not a gang member. She wasn't jumped into anything. She doesn't spend her time terrorizing people. You don't have to worry about walking down the street and seeing her.
Ken Countryman is Suvarna's defense attorney.
Ever represented an actual gang member?
I've represented a lot of gang members. I grew up in a neighborhood surrounded by gangs. The only thing I can say is that the gang members that I spent my formative years trying to avoid would be sitting on their porch laughing about this, because this is really a joke.
So what makes this group a criminal street gang? Well, for months, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office has refused to explain publicly. Prosecutors got the charges through a grand jury, a confidential, one-sided process. But we confirmed the secret testimony they told jurors. And it is truly unbelievable. To charge as a street gang in Arizona, the law is broad. You just need 2 of the following criteria. And here are the ones that officials say fit this group. They carry umbrellas. They wear mostly black. And they chanted, "All cops are bastards." And for that, officials labeled them the ACAB gang. But here's maybe the most unbelievable part. Court records show the state called a police witness to testify that ACAB was just as dangerous and in many ways more dangerous than notorious gangs like the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips and the Bloods. For reference, it's estimated that those street gangs have committed more than 15,000 homicides, while this group carries umbrellas. Tell me about the umbrella. Did you bring one? Did someone give one to you?
Yeah, I didn't bring one. I was handed one when I got there. I was under the impression it was to protect us from tear gas. And I learned later, apparently, it's also to protect us from people like the alt-right protests or whatever they were following us, because they can dox you, which did happen to me after I was arrested.
Here's a look at the, quote, patriots that were there.
I got it all on film.
They're extremists, armed, wearing vests. This one, with the Punisher logo, has a criminal record.
Yes, we are, ACP.
During the arrest, when officers order them back, she claims to be press and name drops a connection to a Phoenix cop.
Ask Detective Hillman.
I was sent threatening messages, death threats, sexual assault threats.
Oh, so people threaten to kill you and rape you,
Yes,
but you're the gang member.
correct.
Once again, a gang member for wearing black, chanting, and carrying an umbrella.
This is like bad.
Meet alleged gang member Ryder Collins. He didn't do any of those things.
That night in jail, it was just like, any minute now, they're gonna be like, well, you can get out of here, you know, clearly you don't know anybody here.
Ryder asked to keep his mask on for this interview to set an example, because he's a nurse from Prescott. He comes down to Phoenix on weekends to shoot photography. It's why he was downtown that night.
We walked around and caught the sunset in downtown. It's really kind of cool because the light will go through the buildings and makes these really cool shadows.
After admiring the shadows, Ryder saw the commotion.
I see this lady with a GoPro camera, and she's filming along the sidewalk, and she's like yelling and screaming at these huddled group of people with umbrellas in the middle of the street.
Get a job, commies.
And I said, oh, okay, and just followed along on the sidewalk with her for a while.
Her video proves it. Ryder's here, holding a camera, not an umbrella. He's not even with the group.
No, I was with her on the sidewalk following along with my camera.
So how did he get arrested at the end?
You're like what, across the street on the other corner?
Yeah, I'm like the opposite corner, so I'd say at least 150 feet away.
Watch that guy right there.
Here to my right, a couple of cops say something like, that's the guy. He's been following the group, get him.
Ryder and the others face between 8 and 32 years in prison.
I'm sure it's ruined other lives, and then like they're attempting to ruin mine, and it's just not right. I didn't do these things that they're charging me with.
And don't forget the larger context here. This protest, these arrests, came after a very long summer for Phoenix police.
I mean, why do you think they're doing this?
I think they're doing it because they want to silence us. And obviously when you're facing 4 felonies, it can silence you and shut you up pretty quick.
And based on what an officer told Amy in custody, she believes that is exactly the goal.
Pulled me aside in a room and said, I heard you talking about your job and it's important to you and you really, seem to like your career. Just so you know, if you keep doing this kind of stuff, you're not going to have a career anymore. And I was like, is that a threat? And he said, no, I'm just letting you know.
In prepared written statements, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office denies this is a political prosecution and says, quote, "We will not allow violence to take over our streets." Now you can see their video evidence and full testimony at abc15.com/protest.